What's going on, YouTube? Sorry. Right when I started the video, start coughing. What's the chance of that happening? All right, guys, we got a new knife today from EOS. This is the first impressions. It was going to be an unboxing, but I was a little excited when I ordered this knife. Really liked it. From EOS Elite Outfitting Solutions, EOS. That's funny. That's the name of my gym. Made here in the United States of America. I got this one from USA made blade, and it got here incredibly fast. This is the Dorado-S in black and blue. A couple different variations of this knife in different color schemes. And you can see the price tag there, $450. I think I paid $425 though. So could be wrong. Maybe I did pay $450. Either way, comes in this pretty generic box. You got a sleeve over it, and there was another little piece that came with it that kind of held it in the box. I don't know what happened to that, but it's around here somewhere. But pretty basic packaging, nothing crazy. So get that out of the way. Let's talk about the knife. Let's get some basic comparisons here going. Let's do the pair of three. Oh, failed that. So you can see that the handle is quite a bit more than the pair of three. Blade are nearly the same. That's one of my gripes. We're going to talk about that. Let's look at the SNG, because I really feel like it compares a lot to an SNG in a lot of ways. A little bit bigger than an SNG, a lot less blade length. If you're getting a theme here, guys, you might pick up on it here. And how about the artisan cutlery artisan cutlery. God, I gotta stop saying artisan. About the same size in the handle. Maybe the artisan's a little longer. You can see the huge difference in the blade there. And that is one of my, I would say, gripes about this knife is the blade to handle ratio is pretty awful. So, yeah, that's one of my complaints. So I was excited when I saw this on USA Made Blade, just like the aesthetics of it. Kind of reminded me of the Strider. I love the opening hole. I like the titanium handle with that carbon fiber inlay, the hardware. Really like a lot about it, but it's got some issues. You know, it really does. And this is a first impressions video. So, you know, maybe once I get a little bit more time with it, I'll change my tune a little bit. But it is, yeah, it's got some issues. One of the most glaring things that you'll notice is that big handle compared to the blade shape. Because I believe the blade length is about 3 inches, but your handle is nearly 5 inches long. That's pretty huge. I mean, that's like a big difference in you know, blade to handle ratio. It doesn't have to always be perfect, right? Like sometimes it'll work and such, but in this case, it's just a little too small for me as far as the blade to handle ratio, because you have a 3-inch blade with a 5-inch handle, so it's a pretty big knife with a pretty small blade, which is kind of weird, right? When you look at like this Arian, it's got less than a 5-inch handle, but it's got like almost a 4-inch blade. It's like 3.7 inches in blade length. So it's got a really good blade to handle ratio. The SNG, pretty good too. Not the best, but pretty good blade to handle ratio. You have a big choil there, so you don't have as much cutting edge, but you do have a lot more than what the Dorado offers. So some direct comparisons there. So yeah, 5-inch blade, or 5-inch handle with a 3-inch blade. And it's one of those weird times where I like usually look at specs when I order knives, but I kind of didn't. I just kind of liked the aesthetics of it, and there wasn't very many available, and I just bought it, you know, and it was $425. It wasn't a cheap purchase. And when I got it in hand, I was like, man, it's super comfortable. It's got great ergonomics. But the handle is well designed. It's just, is it necessary to have that much curve in it? That's what's killing your blade length. You know, to fit that blade in there, you have all this extra curve here, and it's just, could they have squeezed more blade? Probably. The spec listed as a 3.25-inch blade, but it's really just 3 inches of cutting edge. So my biggest gripe, I guess, so far is that that it has just a pretty horrible blade to handle ratio. Aesthetically pleasing, absolutely. Looks sick, love it. Ergonomics, fantastic. Feels great in the hand. Could be a really good user knife, but again, I feel like it should just have a bigger blade. The next thing that that I'm not stoked on this guy is the blade itself. It is obtusely thick behind the edge. When I say that, like, it's like 34, 35 thousandths behind the edge. Guys, that's insane. Like, yes, it's kind of thinking designed to be an overbuilt knife. Yeah, guess what? This SNG, you talk about the definition of overbuilt knife, 17 thousandths behind the edge. Like, most production knives, this one is, I think, 15 or 16 thousandths behind the edge. It's like the Para 3 factory. This is a regrind, bad example, because it's like 10 thousandths. But a factory Para 2, Para 3 is typically around 20 thousandths. I'm okay with that area. Like this guy here is kind of thick behind the edge. The 80-20.5 is about 24 thousandths. Has been sharpened, so it's probably thickened a little bit. But that's the thing. When you sharpen this thing, it's going to be a nightmare. It's S90V with a 30... I mean, it's insanely obtuse behind the edge. It's so thick. It's going to be a pain in the butt to sharpen because of how thick behind the edge it is. Then your bevel's just going to get huge, and it's just not going to look good. So I was shocked. I have never had a production knife, or any knife for that matter, be that thick behind the edge. I'm thinking of like the most thick behind the edge knives I have. Like a Hinderer I have is like 27 thousandths. It's pretty thick. I've sharpened many, many times. That's why. And if you guys know, if you sharpen knives, they get thicker behind the edge. So the more you go. So you're starting at 34 thousandths? Like, that's crazy. Now, would this knife be worth sending in for a regrind? It would look pretty sick. I bet Micah Sontag could do some work with it, like he did on my Para 3. Judas dropping shiz. And my Mini Adamas that I got from Tom Hussein. Both reground by Micah Sontag. This one's like 12, 13 thousandths. That's like 10 thousandths. They're reground. You would take off this coating. Actually, like kind of sick. It's a thought if I keep the knife. I'm probably not going to be honest with you. But yeah, it's just crazy. So it's got two pretty big strikes. The blade to handle ratio is not good, but more I could get over that if the blade was slicey, could cut well. It's so thick. It's like it's just nuts. Other than that, it's made in the US. The price point's good. It's about the same price as a Hinderer or Chris Reeve, so it's reasonable. Those are going to cut a lot better, those knives. And, you know, the aesthetics are pleasing. Like, looks great. Love the design, language of the knife, with that curvature of the handle. Again, the ergos are fantastic. It's a little heavy. It's about 5 ounces. Not bad. The action's okay. It's not horrible. Like, you know, I can definitely middle finger flick it. But it's definitely not, like, shakeable. The thumb stud works as well. So the deployment's not horrible. Again, it's aesthetically pleasing. I was just really on the fence of this one. Like, do I keep it? Do I not? And I can't get over how thick that is. Like, I like my knives to cut, guys. I'm not just buying pocket jewelry here. I do like it when it's aesthetically pleasing and is a performing knife. That's the best of both worlds, right? It cuts well. You mean, look at my Para 3 that I've got kind of dressed up in these fat carbon scales. I think it's 10 thousandths behind. It's a laser. It cuts through anything, and it looks good too, right? You can have the best of both worlds. So just a little disappointing that they grind their knives that thick. I mean, they're just really not. It's crazy. Plus, the blade just needs to be a bit longer for the handle, and I think you'd have a better knife there. So these are, if you guys are into this, they are still available at USA Made Blade. There's still a few options available. They're about $425. There's the purple one with the gray titanium, a blue with gray titanium, just a stonewash finish. There's a few available out there. I can't get over those things. Those are kind of deal breakers for me. So I'll probably be unloading this one. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching my first impressions video. We'll see you on the next video.